afternoon, class. I still remain Comrade Stephen Cornelius Mbombianga. Today, I will be taking us in another dimension of these science classes. We're going on another different subject or course, which is biological sciences. So, and the major topic we're going to be looking at today is what is called alimentary canal. We'll look at what an alimentary canal is and digestion of food in man. So that will be our area of concentration. So can we look at or can we try to understand the concept of alimentary canal? Because most of the times in WAEC, the question is normally it's either you define digestion or you explain this alimentary canal, or they ask us to describe digestion of food. So if you're describing digestion of food, you must talk about the canals. Very, very important. So that's what you need to know. So I think after this very topic, we'll go through some WAEC and JAM questions to see how we can tackle problems when it comes to digestion of food. And this topic is not implied for people that are writing JAM or WAEC alone, but is implied to everyone who is ready to learn. So what you're going to do for us, please, the first instruction is for you to go quickly to the subscription box, click on the subscription and like our video. Please do that now. Do not procrastinate. Please do that now as we proceed to the main business. And reason is because of updates. Because we're going to be giving you so many important topics that will help you to succeed in your exams and to understand sciences as long as you wish to learn and keep following this channel. So, as I said, you might be asked that what is an alimentary canal? What is an alimentary canal? So let me try to simplify this topic as much as I can do. And when we say canal, it's very important. When we say canal, another synonym for this very word is tube. Is tube, or you can call it track. So when you hear the word track or tube or canal, it's still referring to the same thing. Are you getting it? So now, alimentary canals or tubes or tracts are those organs that are involved in the digestion of food. Their major roles is to allow the passage of food substance, either a liquid or solid, from one region to another, or you can say from one place to another. Assuming now food is passing or is moving from the esophagus to the stomach, from the mouth to the esophagus, from the esophagus to the stomach, to the rectum, to the and out of the anus. Do you understand? Can you see is a pattern of movement? So that is the major role of an alimentary tract or canal, is to allow the passage of food substance. So what are these alimentary tracts or canal, or what are the examples of these alimentary tracts or canal? So we're going to look at them one after the other and try to do justice as possible and to explain. So what you're going to do for us, please, you just continue writing. I might not write much here, but as I'm talking, you're writing, and I'm going to be dictating for you to write. So the first alimentary tract or The first canal we're going to be looking at is what is called the mouth. The mouth. The word mouth, number one. So the mouth is the first track or canal we're going to be looking at. The mouth you're seeing, the mouth is made up of sub-organs, and there are three in numbers, majorly. Number one is we have the teeth. The teeth there. We have tongue. The tongue here. And we have salivary. Salivary glands. Salivary what? Gland. So in the mouth, we say the mouth is made up of three organs. And the number one here is the teeth. The teeth, the tongue, and the salivary glands. So let's try to see what is the role of the teeth when it comes to digestion of food. Or what is the role of the tongue? Or what does the salivary glands implies? Or what does it do when it comes to the functions of food? So now these are the three major organs, as I said, that are contained in where? In the mouth. So now, the number one here being the teeth, what it does, it helps in cutting the food. The teeth helps in what? Cutting. It cuts the food, or it grinds what? The food. The teeth what? Cut and what? Also it can cut and it can what? Grind the food into smaller particles. It cuts or grinds the food into what? Smaller particles. Hope you're writing. Please jot that. You can write it down. So now, and the purpose of cutting this food is not just for fun's sake. The cutting is to create large surface area for an enzymes in the mouth to act on the food. What did I say? The teeth grind the food to create large surface area for an enzyme called ptyalin to act on the food. I'm still going to talk about ptyalin when we proceed. So that is the major functions of the teeth. You can have so many, but these are what the key functions of the teeth. Now, if you're talking about the tongues now, after the food is being cut or ground into smaller particles, it is then rolled. The tongue helps in what? Rolling the food. It rolls the food into what we call bolus. That is just medium, smaller size of the food. It rolls it into what? Bolus. Now, another functions of the tongue is that it helps in mixing of the food with the what? The saliva. It helps in what? Mixing of the food. Now, another point, for the food to find it easier to move in the mouth is by the help of the tongue. So that is, it helps in what? In the movement of food in the mouth. Please, are we getting it? Are you jotting? So, then fourth, or let me just say, last but not the least here, it helps in swallowing. It helps in what? Swallowing of the food substance. Very, very important. So can you see the roles of these two? So please jot it down. So now mostly in the JAMB or WAEC, they might say one of these is not the function of the tongue. So can you see I gave you like 4. So please, you note it. Now, the last on the mouth, but not the least, the salivary what? Gland. The salivary gland. So the major function of the salivary gland is to secrete saliva. Is what? Secrete saliva. And when this saliva is secreted, it contains an enzyme called ptyalin. It contains an enzyme called what? Ptyalin. It contains an enzyme called ptyalin. So ptyalin, so we say the salivary gland secretes saliva, right? And the saliva contains an enzyme called ptyalin. So this is an enzyme in the mouth. So the role or function of this ptyalin is to convert starch into maltose. Then it is then swallowed through the esophagus into the stomach. So can you see that ptyalin converts starch into maltose? Very, very important. Please note that. Sometimes in JAMB or WAEC, NECO or any exams, they ask you what is the functions of ptyalin. So very, very important. Very important. So, and it's important also you note that the saliva is alkaline in nature. The saliva is what? Alkaline in nature. These are very key points that an examiner can ask you. So very, very important. So the next alimentary tract or canal here is what is known as the esophagus. You call it what? The esophagus or the gullet. The gullet. You call it esophagus or you call it what? Gullet. So you can call it gullet or you call it what? Esophagus. Esophagus. Now, the esophagus or the gullet it connects the stomach to the mouth, or it connects the mouth to the stomach. Is a tip that connects, or is a pipe that connects what? The mouth and the stomach. And the stomach. So if food is being grounded in the mouth, is then rolled by the tongue into bolus, then by the help of the tongue, the food will then be what? Swallowed. So the food will follow the esophagus down to the stomach. Down to the stomach. So the next tip here or canal we're going to talk about is the stomach, which is the number 3. Is what? Is the stomach. Is the stomach. That's number 3. We say is what? So our number 3 here is called what? The stomach. Let's look at the stomach. Very, very important. So, when the food substance is being swallowed from the mouth and it follows the esophagus, or what we call the gullet, to the stomach, what is going to happen there is that the food will be temporarily what? Stored. The food will be what? Temporarily stored. So it depends on the type of food, because different variety of food have their digestion time. You get it? They have their what? The time in which they are digested in the system. So, for example, when you have protein takes about 6 maybe to 8 hours before they are what? They are digested. So can you see fat can take 8 to 12 hours before they are digested. So it depends on the kind of food. But once the food gets into the stomach, what it does is what? It's temporary store. It will just go down and be storing in the stomach. So it's a very key thing that we need to understand. So the next point I want us to get or to note in the stomach is that the stomach consists of a gastric gland. It consists of what? A gastric gland. And the function of this gastric gland is to secrete two enzymes. The gastric gland secretes a juice, and that juice contains two enzymes. And the name of these enzymes, the names of these enzymes are what we call renin, the renin, and we have what? Pepsin. So these are the two basic enzymes we have in the stomach. We have renin in the stomach and we have pepsin. And remember we said that the stomach consists of what? A gastric juice. So, and it's a gastric gland, and the gastric gland secretes a juice that consists of these two enzymes. Now, what is the role of these two enzymes? What renin does is to coagulate what? Milk. Renin coagulates what? Milk. While renin coagulates milk, it also activates pepsin. Are you following? It's what? We say renin coagulates what? It coagulates milk, and also it what? Activates pepsin. Now, the role of pepsin is to convert protein to peptone. So this one converts what? Proteins to peptones. So it converts what? Pepsin converts proteins to peptones. So these are the two basic functions of these two enzymes contained in the stomach. Sometimes in the exams they ask you, dash is not, or they will say which of these enzymes is found in the stomach. So it's very important that when you're talking about digestion, you include these word enzymes. You cannot explain digestion of food in man and exclude what? These enzymes, the role of these enzymes. Very, very important. And there's something I also want us to know in the stomach. There's something very important I want us to note in the stomach. Another thing we need to note here is that the stomach, we said it consists of what? A gastric gland. A gastric gland. And the same stomach secretes what we call hydrochloric acid. The stomach secretes what we call hydrochloric acid. So the major roles of this hydrochloric acid is to kill bacteria and microorganisms in the stomach. So if in case any bacteria or microorganisms follows the food, then the activity of such can be deactivated by the help of this hydrochloric acid. By the help of this hydrochloric acid. So please, can we list the canals we just talked about now? Very important. So number one, we talked about what? We mentioned the mouth, right? Talk about the mouth. Then two, we talk about the esophagus. We talk about the esophagus, or what we call the gullet. The gullet. We also mentioned what? We also mentioned the stomach. So I think what we're going to do today, let's try to write all the alimentary canals in man, so that when you get back home, you will study them as the class proceed. So let's see how we can mention all the alimentary tracts or canal. Then we call it a day. Now please remind me to talk about digestion before we run out the class. So we also have the word the duodenum, the duodenum. We also have what? The duodenum. We also have what we call the small intestine. The small intestine has another name, and the name is known as what? Ileum. So you can call it small intestine, or you call it what? Ileum. Ileum.